Good afternoon and welcome to Biztech's Asian Midday Market Watch, powered by Rajhi Bank, Malaysia. I'm Brian Fernandez, and with us today is Jeffrey Halley, Senior Market Analyst, Asia Pacific at OANDA, who's coming out of Singapore today. Jeff, great to have you on the show.
Great to be here, mate. I'm in my friend's hipster industrial walk-up in Joo Chiat.
Nice. Now, before I come back to you, Jeff, we're going to take a look at crypto markets and we're going to take a look at how regional stock markets have been performing on the first half of the day. We've got Bitcoin, which is at 21,162.5. It's down 3.35%. Ethereum is at 1,432.64. It's down 5.95%. Now, looking across to regional stock markets, we start with where you're at, Singapore. The SGX is up 0.05%. Now, looking across to other markets in the region, KLSE is down 0.48%. Shanghai is up 0.82%. The ASX All Ordinaries is up 0.37%. The Nikkei is down 0.08%. The Hang Seng is up 1.48%. And we round up the numbers with the Kospi, which is up 0.29%. Now, Jeff, pretty much mixed. What's your view on how markets have performed in the first half of the day?
Yeah, as you said, it's a very mixed performance, much as it was overnight in the US with the Nasdaq fell, we've got the Dow Jones and the S&P closed slightly higher. When you look across most commodity classes today, or most asset classes today, you'll see that they're very much in a range trading mode, and we saw that also continue overnight as well. I do believe that markets are in a wait and see a view at the moment, because from this evening right through to the end of the week, we've got earnings, we've got FOMCs, we've got a lot of data. We also have some event risks, and I think this is sort of the lull before the storm, and that's the price action you're seeing in Asia today.
Okay, I want to zoom in on a couple of things, but you'd probably cover this all in your commentary today. What are some key takeaways from today's commentary that you've got up?
Well, the two asset classes that are moving are Bitcoin, which fell around 6% overnight and is down another 0.8%, I think, in Asia today. Now, there's a story out published by Bloomberg that says that Coinbase is being investigated by the US SEC over some of the products that they launched in the crypto space, which they're interpreting as being securities, in which case you need to be a licensed security provider, which brings you into a regulatory nightmare and a threat of obviously legal action in the state. So I believe that is what is weighing on the crypto space at the moment. Second one is oil. Now, last night, Gazprom dropped those flows on Nord Stream 1 from 40% down to 20% of normal flows. And at that rate, Europe will not be ready for winter this year. Russia's actions, and as usual, they're blaming it on a technical problem or something to do with paperwork or some such thing, that has forced oil prices higher overnight. And in fact, I think it moved with Brent crude through 108.50 at the moment. Could see that spike back to 115. But we've seen in Asia today, energy prices, oil prices are 2% higher as well.
Now, South Korea just came out with their GDP numbers, and the numbers were economy grew 0.7% in the second quarter compared to the first quarter. What's your take on that, and is that going to have a material impact on regional markets as positive news comes out of South Korea?
Well, it was great news actually, but most of it was driven by domestic consumption as the COVID-19 restrictions were eased. Now it's backwards looking. We're talking about the April to June quarter, and as you know, in 2022, 2 months is a lifetime. So although I believe it's helped lift the Kospi slightly higher today, because it suggests that South Korea is still doing pretty well in the world, the fact that it's 2 months backward looking, I think, is going to limit its impact on the markets longer term.
Now, Jeff, you mentioned it's earnings season right now. Amazon came in. Amazon, Microsoft, and Apple are due to announce results this week. But Interestingly enough, Walmart has just given a guidance for investors to expect lower earnings. What's your overall take in terms of the earnings season coming up?
Well, their stock was punished, and they are a core big box type retailer. So if Walmart's catching a cold, you can assume that the rest of the economy is on the verge of catching the flu. So we saw Amazon and Target also sold heavily last night. Walmart was down. Look, we've got Microsoft and we've got Alphabet announcing this afternoon. And what we can tell already this year is that when the fairy tale story of forever growth isn't met, stocks have been punished aggressively and we saw that to a certain extent with Twitter and Snap last week. So a lot of nerves around the online ads market. So I think Alphabet particularly will be important. And we've also got Meta tomorrow, then Apple on Thursday. So huge week for the big tech earnings. And I think that is going to go a long way towards determining how the stock markets emerge at the end of what is already a very busy week.
Now, Jeff, final question. What risks are around in the markets today that are keeping you up at night?
Russia is one. I mean, they signed a wheat export agreement with the Ukraine on Friday and then proceeded to bomb Odessa, which is the main port for the Ukraine, the next day. They're now turning off the gas in Europe now. That is going to have knock-on effects right through the whole world if they are really weaponizing it to that extent. The other one that I'm still thinking about that's really dropped off people's radars is COVID zero in China. Now, China has apparently ordered 100 large companies in Shenzhen to enter a closed loop with their factory workers and production to try and limit those COVID fallouts. But nobody should be under any illusion that if COVID cases explode in China, they won't hesitate to lock down these large urban centers again. And I think that's a risk that's going to be with us around China for the rest of the year. So I would say don't forget China and COVID zero.
Now, Jeff, as always, thank you very much for your insights and thanks for coming on this show.
A pleasure.
Now, we've been speaking to Jeffrey Halley, Senior Market Analyst, Asia Pacific at OANDA, on Biztech's Asian Midday Market Watch, powered by Rajhi Bank, Malaysia. I'm Brian Fernandez. This video and podcast will be on our website, www.biztech.asia, as well as our various social media platforms. Please like and subscribe to our various platforms. Thanks again for tuning in.